Hey, good day, everybody. Hey, thanks for showing up here at Roots and Reason. Happen to do a weekend. We won't call it an emergency stream, but well, let's just say things got crazy out there once again. Let me go ahead and post it out. We are now live. All right. Thank you for everybody showing up. Um, so hey, I was hoping to have the weekend off because I've got some projects in the works. I've been just wanting to do I've got a few things working on as far as trying to help younger folks out, people to learn the skills of what I would call here in Appalachia living thin, how to budget, how to look at things of money. And it's everything from just almost life hack. You would think it would be simple, self evident type stuff. But also, I want to dig a little bit deeper into the weeds and I want to explore things like why does real estate matter so much? And even if you're a young person, why should you be thinking about things like that? Um, there's certain things that we cannot control just because the times we're living in. The interest rates are still high, the cost of housing's high, the wages haven't caught up. All of those things are out of our control. On the other hand, what's in our control is how we spend, how we invest, not just in things like real estate or stocks or something, but also probably one of the most important things, how we invest in ourselves. How much time do you spend learning new things, listening to quality people who might actually have reasonable good advice that might be able to somehow benefit you? But anyway, these are types of subjects that I'm wanting to explore in the next week or so coming up. Um, However, life's what happens when you're busy making plans, man. I tell you what, it never fails. Uh, just wanted to have a chill weekend because it was pretty good weather, and I turned on the tube and more peaceful protests and cars burning in street corners. And anyway, getting a little bit hairy out there in a couple places. Things were getting kind of nuts. So let's go take a look at that real quick. Just one of the kind of the quick things that I wanted to kind of bring up was been following this guy a little bit here lately. It's what's the name of this channel? Agenda Free TV. Um, Pretty middle of the guy. I mean, he makes his commentary and stuff, but he's not offensive. And to be honest with you, for those of us who enjoy the new media space, uh, better than most of the mainstream. Um, and actually, I'm surprised. One of the things I was going to make a comment on, there's actually a guy right here. He's holding an American flag. That's literally the first time I've seen anybody anywhere at these protests in the past 2 days hold an American flag. In fact, that was actually going to be one of the things I'm going to comment on is like you can always tell that this is an American protest, or excuse me, a protest of people on the new left. And again, I try to make that nuanced distinction that the, a lot of the left today isn't the left of at least my memory and my lifetime experiences. Um, I said you can always spot it and tell. Oh, I take it back now. I can actually see the whole flag. It's a combination American flag mixed with the Mexican flag. There you go. Which is my point. How can you tell that it's the modern left? Because you're going to have pro Palestinian flags, Mexican flags. And for the life of me, I really don't get this, people. Seriously. For the past 10 years, I've heard nothing about how people on the right are racist, Trump is racist and phobe and yada, yada, yada. Um, and the most bizarre thing is I look at these protests, and sometimes there's thousands of people out there. It ain't a small thing. Um, Why is it that all of the people protesting are carrying the flags of the place they're trying to get out of to come to America, which apparently is so racist and hateful? I don't get it. For the life of me, I mean, if America, according to the left, they just absolutely hate this country at this point. I don't see anything else around it. I watched a guy here earlier in the coverage beating the flag and stomping all over it and spitting on it and throwing up the bird. And it seems to be a common theme with people on the left. They'll put everybody else's flag, LGBT and Mexico, Palestine, Hamas, doesn't matter. Be every flag but the American one. And yet, for some reason, they're out here protesting the people that are so hateful. For what? The people from another country carrying their flags to celebrate. Again, I don't get it. What are the people carrying flags of a place they're trying to flee from to come to a place they hate? I don't know. I don't get it. It's beyond me, man. Maybe somebody of you guys can explain this one to me in the chat or something, but I find it absolutely totally bizarre. But anyway, let's go take a quick look over at what's going on over at the Twitter. Excuse me, X. Let's go check it out. The usual fare. Yep. This one kind of surprised me. Tell you what, let me go ahead and hide my ugly mug. You guys aren't here to see this ancient, bearded old coot. Okay. Honestly, this did kind of surprise me, however. Trump deploying the National Guard for 60 days to protect ICE personnel. I don't remember exactly, but I know that there's a lot of stipulations using things like the military or National Guard for civilian issues. I'm sure there's probably a way around it. I suspect that might be something that ends up in court, but I don't know. I don't remember the posse comitatus or something of that nature. I kind of I respect this guy's kind of a thing, and pardon me while I toot the horn of glory of Tennessee. Ah, yes. Crack open a cold one or a nice RC cola with a moon pie, maybe some Tennessee tea, and turn on the TV and just watch the mayhem. We'll see how this all goes. Yep, here's one kind of looking back at the old California. Certainly a very different place. But then again, a lot of America was. It was just a different time. Um, it's hard. Nostalgia is one of those weird things. We always get nostalgia, especially boomers and Gen X and stuff, because, well, when you're young, you don't have a lot of the burdens of life. You're not gotten jaded yet. So yeah, everything was great, when you're like in high school or the following years and partying and having the best time of your life in your youth. Um, so looking back at it, of course, you look back at it with the fondness. At the same time, I don't know. There were some things that were simply better, and I don't know. Unreal. Mexican flag. I was watching this one yesterday. They just, for some reason, these people decided to just burn a car down in an intersection. And apparently it was some kind of like robotic Uber type car. Why? I don't know. And then here we go. So this is the problem with the stuff on the right. It's all because of the immigrants. And the guy posting it is actually technically an immigrant. Irony. I guess it's only certain kind of immigrants that are cool, isn't that the point? Yeah, unfortunately, there's always them kind of people. But yeah, it's okay. DHS has launched an investigation into Los Angeles County for reportedly providing federal benefits to illegal aliens through state cash assistance programs. And here, this is the one that I was watching the other day. There's some Yahoo standing out in a street, chucking bricks or these huge rocks at just random passing cars. And I keep hearing, oh, we're going to bring him to justice. And I'm like, well, the dude, he's just standing there. There's like a dozen police vehicles drive by and he's chucking rocks at them and they just keep on trucking. I'm like, I don't know. You ever thought maybe one of you guys could pull over and arrest the guy? I don't get it. Just unbelievable. This is America. This isn't a post apocalyptic scenario in, 25 years ago in Eastern Europe. Yeah, this is the guy right here. Look at this Yahoo. Okay, there's some state vehicles, and here's a couple of random people. What the hell happens when some of these rock goes in and kills somebody's baby? You know? I again, I don't get it. Why do we allow this kind of shit? And I know people on the left will bring up, well, January 6th. Fair enough. Um, More than happy to accept that. I don't think it was an insurrection. I think it was a riot. Uh, Needless to say, at least a lot of those people, a bunch of them, went to prison. Some of them without even being charged for 3 to 5 years. Um, I'll be happy when I see the same here. That's the only way this kind of stuff's going to stop. Uh, I'm not crazy about a heavy-handed police force and stuff, and especially yet people at the dress like this. I mean, Jesus, you could take this footage and show it back in 1970, and it'd be just as bizarre as like watching the first time Star Wars or something. And I don't know how much of this is grassroots. How much is this just popped up because I don't know. Maybe there's it's due to the large Mexican population in Los Angeles. Don't know, but I would be willing to suspect that there's probably some funding behind this. I know mysteriously they found a bunch of stacks of concrete blocks kind of parked at the end of a Home Depot parking lot. Quite convenient. That's second time that's happened. Oh God, here's this now. Oh, the Gentile News Network. Well, there you go. Unfortunately, there's probably your white supremacist type thing. Oh yeah, it's always blame these folks. These people make me sick. Old school Eddie. It's not a protest. It's an attack on our country due to evasion allowed under the Biden administration. All right, fair enough. I suspect that a lot of these people out here are not illegals. While they are protesting, it should be treated personally, I think, heavy handed because this isn't a protest, this is a riot. At the same time, I suspect a lot of the illegals are they're going to ground, man. They're living in gopher turtle holes. They don't want to get caught and deported. These are the Mexican Americans who live here. So, There you go. There's California today. Unreal. Welcome to America 2025. It's like the summer of love back in 2022. It's like, here we go again. Or was it 2021? And of course, I don't know if these folks realize, Trump, this is his last time. He doesn't have to get reelected. Yeah, another one of these white supremacist types. Vile. Oh, there we go. Speaking of, kind of amazing. They just all of a sudden happen to put concrete blocks conveniently stacked outside of everywhere else. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, the street right there, that street is where a lot of the protests is taking place. Come on, man. Haven't we seen this before? I mean, literally, it's like a playbook of the last summer of love. The days of Chaz and watching Seattle burn to the ground. Come on, people. Nobody's buying that bullshit anymore. Okay, wait a minute. CNN reporter claiming it's mostly peaceful riots. Okay, we know this is true.
This has been very peaceful, Brian. It has been tense at some points, but we haven't seen any violence happening here. What people are saying is that they don't think ICE belongs in Los Angeles, that they want ICE out of the city. And this has been very peaceful, Brian. It has been...
Yeah, peaceful.
So these are federal law enforcement officers that are carrying this out. As we see one more person, that person being dragged across the street.
Unreal.
For a moment there, being arrested.
But we want to remind folks that viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, yeah. So we're starting to see some of these people being detained by what appears to be federal law enforcement at this point. We believe that these are Border Patrol police that are on scene. So these are federal law enforcement officers that are carrying this out.
Okay. This is the one I was watching the other day. It was actually a little funny.
Escalate from here. Look at the flag. Yeah, Guy, I see
there it is. Mexican flag can,
this is criminal activity that I hope is people are held accountable for. And I'm talking about the riots right here.
Where are the cops?
Yeah, where are they? Let's hope that no one is hurt and no one is injured and it doesn't escalate from here. Look at the flag. Yeah, Guy.
I don't care that it's a Mexican flag. The only thing that I care about the Mexican flag, though, is the irony. Quite simply, I mean, let's face it. I love humor and memes as much as the next person. And to be honest with you, irony is one of my favorite things in the entire world. Again, watching a bunch of people carrying around the flags of the place they're trying to flee to live in a place they claim to hate, because we're such hateful people. Okay, whatever. You couldn't write this shit. I mean, look at this. Just right here. We know what they look like. Literally arson. Literally arson. Right there. Hold on a minute. Let's go check this out. There you go. There you go. Nothing says I'm trying to get my point across that the government's heavy-handed by trying to burn down my own community. I don't get it. Oh, there you go. This is how you can always tell that it's an American protest. There aren't any American flags unless they're on fire. I once told a family member, I go, I'm starting to get convinced that people on the left just truly hate the country. And I said it rather glib, not overly serious. But anymore, I'm starting to think otherwise. I still have friends that are on the left, and most of them seem to be, I don't know, if I often refer to the old school kind of classic liberal types. They mostly believe in government institutions and things, but I don't know. It's where are their voices? You know, if you look at the stuff that's going on with like MAGA movement and stuff, um, there's a lot of dissent within the party of is the bill big enough? I mean, you see people argue amongst themselves over this sort of a thing, but where are the reasonable Democrats out there that are going, some of this shit's just too far. I mean,
should we be concerned about not security checking these people?
No, the security check is very essential and important because they come from an area is quite radicalized, anti-Semite, anti-Jew, anti-Christian, anti-all.
Yes.
And they been quite radicalized at the early age.
So you think it's a mistake?
These people, when they come to your country, they're a tool away from carrying the crime against any of your children or any of your people or any of your markets. So it's quite dangerous to not do any security check. All countries, Arab countries, they do security check on everybody. All the Muslim countries, they do security check. And that's your right if you care about the future generation of yours. But the fact that you just bring anybody into your home, it shouldn't be. I mean, would you allow a stranger to come into your house, sit with your babies? No. It's the right of yours to protect your children and not to bring any criminal, anybody into your home. It doesn't mean you're against humanity. In fact, it means you're protecting humanity when you do the security check.
Wow. Holy shit. I didn't expect Amaj Taja. I don't know who that person was, but to see that on Sky News makes a good point. Wow. Wow. I did not expect to see Arab Muslims up there basically saying, put an end to that bullshit. Wow. Did not expect that. Did not expect that. Yeah, and another interesting thing is it looks like California may be losing a few seats. We'll see. We'll see come midterms. It's like the weather. If you get your weather app out and you look what the weather's going to be tomorrow, it's pretty accurate. Try to predict the weather 2 years from now on a Tuesday afternoon. Good luck. But just unreal. There we go. And there's some of those concrete blocks strategically deployed. It's amazing. I'd like to see the video cameras of how those got there. Because, I mean, we've seen this, this happened in, was it Minneapolis? I don't know. It strikes me as a mix of grassroots and a little bit of paid astroturfing here. But, yeah, welcome to America. June 2025. Let's go, let's see, do we got anything else kind of going on? Nope. Let's go back to this. Yeah, give me just one moment. Let's go throw some sound out. Let's kind of get an update on what's up.
Will they not let the people go that way? I'm confused. Oh, hey, I'm watching a live overhead where it looks like they're arresting somebody. I think they're arresting somebody because I'm watching a helicopter shot.
OMG, they're arresting somebody? Really?
There's a helicopter shot of somebody being taken into custody. I can tell you that. I think it's KCBS.
What the heck do you got to do to get arrested in this place?
Live on YouTube. If they are, I'll let you know.
Let's see if I can't stretch this out a little bit.
No, I
There we
can
go.
see it myself. I don't have the rights to it, but I am watching a helicopter shot. Oh, is it KTVU? Are they showing it on KTVU? Well, somebody's getting taken into custody right now. I can see it. Oh, it's right. Is it right there? Or no? Is it right over there? Look at this.
You know, one of the interesting things about today, how does anything ever happen covertly with so many cameras out there? Uh-oh.
Tear gas or pepper balls or something. They're pushing the crowd back. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, well, you always know when they're using the pepper balls and the pepper sprays and stuff because everybody starts running like cockroaches. Why the hell is there a Honda minivan in the middle of all of this? I don't know. Look at this guy. He just chucked a brick. What the hell?
I don't steal feeds and I can't steal feeds. And I wouldn't want to steal feeds. Look at this.
Unreal.
Are those LAPD or are those DHSPD? Is that LAPD? I don't even know. Are those LAPD? People in the chat thinks it's LAPD. That was my guess. But I don't know. I can't be sure. I can't see. Oh, they're still firing the. I don't know if it's tear gas or looks like maybe tear gas. I'm not sure. Look at this. Crazy.
I have to tell you, give props to that dude in the red hat and brown shirt. I've been exposed to tear gas and pepper spray before. This stuff's brutal, man. I don't know. Maybe he's hired a hoot owl. I don't know. What the hell? But, you know, at least the dude's not chucking bricks, so whatever. I'm more worried about these people that are all wearing their little Khalifa stuff and chucking rocks and stuff. I mean, these are the people I'm be focusing in on. People want to carry signs and stuff. You know, you can roll your eyes over it. They usually scatter with a pepper spray, but it's the rock throwers. You know, it's like, why are you covering your face? You know, if you're so standing firm and proud, you know, about what you believe, then why you have to hide? Yeah. Wear the Mexican flag, wave the Mexican flag. Why? Because that's where you want to flee to come to this hateful, horrible country. While you step on the American flag and burn effigies. I don't know. I don't get it. I'll never understand it. But I kind of figured Sunday would be a little bit on the chill side, man. I figured everybody might have wore themselves out yesterday. I saw that Maxine Waters was out there. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. And let's see. Explore Maxine. Yeah, here we go. Real quick, let's go ahead and here we'll see what Maxine was saying earlier.
And he's using deportation as a way to enhance his position with all of those right-wingers out there who do not want this country to be a country of people coming from other places. It's outrageous, it is horrible, and we've got to make sure that we do everything that we possibly can.
Right wingers? I don't know. These are the people that are, again, carrying an American flag and proud of where they live. They're not carrying the flag of a foreign country. People like this telling me how hateful folks, I guess, maybe like me, I guess today I'd be considered right wing, although I don't see myself that way. But I guess the Overton window has shifted that far. But what, trying to stoke his base? Lady, look around you, man.
Because I think he's up to creating martial law.
Well, I don't know. I think it might have to be a response to people chucking bricks at random passing cars, burning vehicles in street corners. When I look at it in the evening and it's like, this looks like some kind of South American coup d'etat or Eastern European insurrection. Thousands of people on the street, shit burning stuff, or football hooligans after some football game in France, some kind of nonsense. You can't create the problem and then suggest that any solution to that problem is what he wanted all along. You literally, it's like self-tell. Create the problem, force them to solution that's gonna look ugly. A bunch of people out there in riot gear cracking skulls, and then say, "Ooh, look how bad right guy is."
He even alluded
we got the National Guard here.
What do you think about what do you think about the National Guard being here, Trump deploying them and not our own governor?
Well, the thing about it is, I don't know why they're here with guns. Whom are they going to shoot, and for what? Are you going to shoot a kid running away just because they're afraid of them? Are you going to shoot a protester because you don't like what they're saying? Why the gun? Why?
I don't know. Maybe someone chucking rocks at passing by cars like minivans that might have kids in them. Police vehicles. We all know about the famous gang violence in LA. This lady hasn't done a damn thing to stop it. I ain't crazy about seeing a bunch of armed guards in the streets of one of my cities in the country that I love. It's an ugly response to an ugly scenario. One that she kind of helped foment.
Why are these guns here? That's my question. I don't get why the guns have to be here. We're a sanctuary city. We know Trump doesn't like us. We know that he's going to try to use us as an example. He's going to try to goad us so that he has a martial law.
Well, actually, for once, maybe I agree with Maxine here. Maybe he does want to use you as an example, but why would he want to do that? Maybe there's an example to be made. Have you ever crossed your mind, lady?
He even alluded to civil war at one point in talking about this issue.
Well, I think also, Maxine, you've also alluded to the same. Okay, so she was over here as well. This was actually kind of funny. Probably the best way to deal with this lady.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public appeal.
I need to get in. Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public appeal.
I need to get in.
There you go. Probably the best way to deal with with Maxine Waters. I could say that is a little bit funny. Okay, hold on a minute here. Let's check this out. Maxine, she's just like Senator Lindsey Graham. Never met a war he didn't like. Well, Maxine Waters has never found a protest in California for some of those worst takes possible that she didn't learn. Let's go see what old Maxine has to say.
And that to stop here where the guns are. I want you all to take pictures of these guns and let people know that they're in our city with guns, and I'm sure they have orders to shoot and kill. I don't know, but otherwise they wouldn't have guns.
One question, Representative Ms. Waters, if there's one statement that you, or a message that you can send to Donald Trump, what is that message here today?
My message to Donald Trump is you are a cruel human being, and that you're using the poorest people in the land, the most vulnerable people in the land, to promote your politics. You are wrong. We know what this is all about. We have people who are immigrants here who are trying to seek a better living, who have come from places where they have experienced this kind of thing that he's doing here today. People.
Okay. Again, that's a little bit of my point. Yes, in fact, there's a lot of Mexicans that have been fleeing. I don't know. The fact that their government and their country is extremely unstable due to drug cartels, human trafficking. Yeah. Are they here to what? Protest law and order? Or are they protesting because they want to turn the United States into something that looks more like where they left in California with a bunch of drug cartels? I don't know. You tell me.
Who work every day, people who are paying taxes, who are raising their families, who are supporting education. They should not be treated this way. They should be given an opportunity to tell their story, whom they are, and why they're here.
Wait a minute, that's actually part of the problem again. A lot of these people aren't paying taxes. Some are. But it's kind of hard to pay taxes. If you're an illegal immigrant, you don't have a social security. You're not on the tax roll system. So it's like, what? I guess they pay taxes if they go to the Walmart. Well, what the hell, lady?
And ask the United States to please do what the Constitution allows us to do, and that is give them consideration.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What does the Constitution say? U.S. Constitution, illegal aliens. Okay. That's just for giggles, real quick. The U.S. Constitution protects undocumented immigrants with the same due process and equal protection rights as citizens. While they may not have the same rights as citizens as the right to vote, they are still entitled under the protections of the 5th and 14th Amendment. Okay. Fair enough. Exclusion and removal. The United States government has the power to exclude or remove aliens, but they must be afforded due process. And we've been dealing with a lot of this stuff here in the Supreme Court lately. I mean, in fact, Trump had to bring back that guy from El Salvador just to go through a simple due process thing, which, to be quite honest, is going to take 5 minutes in front of the judge he's in, but he's going to end up right back in El Salvador. But yeah, fair enough. That still means you got to round them up. You have to put them in detention in order to give them their due process. I don't know. I'm not buying it, Maxine. I think you have a slightly distorted view of this, but I could be wrong. Folks, you tell me.
For having citizenship here.
Ms. Maxine Waters, thank you for those words. Another thing, do you find it coincidental that this is happening at this time of the year right now? Is there anything that you can correlate with the timeline that it's happening with right now alongside?
No, I think that the president has not been able to live up to the threat that he used during his campaign, where he was going to get millions of them out of here. And I think it's come to the point where he thinks he's got to show something.
Well, yeah, it's exactly what he got voted in the office for. That was one of his primary planks of his platform, for Pete's sakes. Yeah, it's exactly what he's trying to do. You're protesting him from trying to fulfill one of his campaign promises. Of course, there's a problem here, lady. Why are you astonished at this? This lady has to be the dimmest bulb, and Lord have mercy. Tell you what.
But also his ridiculousness as taking over the armed services to celebrate his birthdays coming up. And people are saying, are you going to spend millions of dollars celebrating your birthday using the armed services to do it? And I think that adds to it. All of this is coming to the forefront now.
And Congresswoman, how should the city of LA and the state of California react to this? What's the smart play here?
All of the elected officials in this city should be on the street. The mayor should be on the street. The city council should be on the street. Everybody should be on the street. All of the state elected.
I agree. Nothing would bring me greater joy than to watch all the California Democratic elected government officials out there on the street, watching them get pepper sprayed. I tell you what, if that was pay-per-view, you would take a chunk out of the national deficit.
Official. All of us in Congress, we're supposed to be in Congress tomorrow, but I want you to know I'm trying to stop him from getting richer and richer on crypto. The more money he has, the more powerful he has, the more he will elect.
Oh, good God, lady, really? Trump getting rich on a crypto coin? Okay, fair enough. I'm not even going to argue with that one. I'll join you with bitching at Trump about that. As long as you call out Nancy Pelosi, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and about 120 other members of Congress, including yourself, Miss Waters, right? How about we just stop Congress critters from trading individual stocks? Make them trade an ETF. They can still engage in the stock market. They just can't do single pick stocks that's going to benefit off their own legislation. Make them do an index fund or something. Come on.
People. So we got a lot of work to do.
So bodies on the street, basically.
Bodies on the street. People on the street. Absolutely.
Ms. Waters, before we let you go, anything that you can say to anybody watching or the public that wants to come out here or just simply watching or wants to know anything that you want to tell them that they should do or shouldn't do?
Well, here's what I want to support. I want to support people having a voice. Peaceful protests are okay. They're all right. I want them to know what happened in the civil rights movement, where we got on the street.
Peaceful protest. You heard it. And I agree with her once again. I do. I actually agree with Maxine Waters. But let's go see. Let's go review real quick some of the very peaceful protests that we get to watch. Let's go review. Come on. We did it here a minute ago. Let me go find it. Peaceful protest. Random cars. There's your peaceful protest. Okay, some police vehicles. There you go. There you go. Wait a minute. You just chucked a car at this person. Again, what if somebody's got a baby in the back seat? And this asshole over here kills that person. This is what they consider peaceful protesting. And look, he's not the only one. There are other people out here doing this. Here's another one. It's literally like going to the carnival. Buy a ticket, get a rock, and start chucking it at the randos in the public. Peaceful protest. Yeah, kiss my ass. Peaceful protest. There you go. Look how peaceful. There you go. So peaceful. So very peaceful. Well, at least it's only fireworks, right? There we go. Obviously, the pepper spray's coming out. There they go, running like cockroaches. Run! Run, Forrest, run! Until people are held accountable for things, this kind of shit's just going to keep on trucking. All right. Go on, Maxine. Tell us more.
Where we marched, where we fought, and we made the government change, and we got voting rights.
Peacefully.
Peacefully. And so people can protest peacefully. They should come out and they should have...
Wait a minute. Did they just put a filter over her? They did. OMG. This might be the funniest damn thing I have ever seen. I've got to screenshot this. Wait a minute. I hang on a minute. I got to snip this. This is too funny.
Peacefully.
I am absolutely dying laughing right now. Hold on. Where's my snippet tool? I got to get this. There you go. I'm curious to know what news agency did this, but this is hilarious. That is internet gold right there. Check it out. Who put the bow tie on her? Is this CNN? Or the local news? I hope somebody caught that. That's hysterical.
And so people can protest peacefully. They should come out and they should have a voice, and they should not allow the intimidation to force them to do nothing.
Intimidation. I'm not going to go back. I want to see intimidation. There you go. That's what intimidation looks like. When you're chucking rocks at random vehicles in the street. There's your intimidation. Vile. I hate the duplicitous nature. I mean, I bitch at Trump. I bitch at other people in government over this stuff, and she just happens to be one of the worst. Sorry, but she's an easy target, people, because this woman is dumb as the bricks these people are throwing.
Do something.
Do something. Do not let the intimidation force you to do nothing. Do something. Words from Congresswoman here, Maxine Waters. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. You heard it.
I can't believe these guns. Look at the guns. These young people didn't get in the service to kill people like that.
Whoa. Wait a minute. This, again, just how dumb this human being is. Listen to this. Listen close.
These guns. Look at the guns. These young people didn't get in the service to kill people like that.
These young people didn't go into the service to kill people. No, lady, that's pretty much what the whole point of the Army and the Marines and the Navy were. We don't want them to kill people. We train them to be the best killers possible. In fact, the United States has one of the best programs on being able to detach a soldier, a human being, from the impact of the trauma of having to kill other people. Our psychological methods during basic training and stuff are some of the best in the world. There's a reason we have an epidemic of people with PTSD and stuff that, okay, we can teach them how to do it, but we don't teach them how to live with themselves after the fact and when they've done it. And they go back and relive this stuff. But to sit there and say that we're not teaching them, does she even understand what the point of the military actually is? Here's reality. There's Maxine Waters, and she's going the other way. Just there you go. I'm sorry. This is another classic example of term limits. I'm sorry, but this government has too many old people. I mean, some of them are either A, reliving the Cold War every day in their mind, like the Lindsey Grahams of the world, or the Maxine Waters that still think that this is the peacenik time of some love-in fest of 1969 at Woodstock. Just not in the real world.
Exactly.
Look at the gun. That is scary.
Yes, guns are scary. They can be used for horrible, scary things. There's a reason why they have them. And if you can't compartmentalize and put into place why they exist and why this is here, how do you get elected to office? I'm just astonished at the ignorance. Ah, dear God. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go back and catch up a couple minutes. Few more minutes of this, and I think I'm going to cut it because I think a lot of us have already been watching some of this. But anyway, I'm sorry, folks. You know, some of you people that might think might be a little surprised I'm a law and order kind of person, but I am. I'm sorry, when you get old and you own a piece of property and you have things, you don't want rando people who aren't even a member of your society to come try and chisel off a little piece of it. Most of us work our asses off every day. Blacks, whites, Asians, Mexicans, uh, gays, trans, straights, doesn't matter. A lot of everyday working class people in America that trying to get by, and it's hard. And it seems like some people, we want to get into this thing to just blame some other group or something. And then meanwhile, you've got people like Maxine Waters out there that apparently she has no concept of why we have a military. Guns. Why do they have guns? Guns are dangerous. They could hurt somebody. Yeah, that's the whole point of them. We hope they don't use them. Anyway, give me just a minute here. I'm boiling. I'm up here, Jerry.
I just need to switch my headphones. I'm going to switch my headphones. I ran out of power on my headphones. So give me a moment. Probably pause for a second while I take out my headphones. Give me one second.
Resist racism is fascism.
I'm going to be back in 30 seconds. Give me 1 minute.
I'm not sure if these people understand the real word of that, what that really means. Well, to the credit at least of this group, this is a little bit more peaceful. I ain't got no problem with that, other than blocking off roads and shit, but at least they're not being violent. Quit your job. Lady, if you think they're only getting paid $60,000 a year, you might be mistaken. Wow. Okay. I think I've seen enough. All right. All right, folks. I'm going to call it here. Most of you guys have seen some of this stuff, but at the same time, you know, these types of things kind of bring out the ugliest people on every side, and it's a damn shame that that happens. But I don't know. You've been on the planet for almost 6 decades, seen a lot of riots, and there's two kinds of riots. You get the right wing type, and if we want to use January 6th, clearly a riot. People should have never went in there. The dumbest thing. A lot of them didn't do anything other than just walk in and hold a cell phone up and ended up in prison for up to 5 years. Meanwhile, there was a guy literally in the crowd. I forget his name offhand. I know you folks, if you pay attention to the news, have seen this dude, is encouraging people to go in there. And of course, the people in the crowd are chanting, Fed, Fed, Fed. But yep, a lot of dumb people went inside that building. Guess what? They paid for it. Like I said, 3 to 5 years. Some of them even were in there for 3 years without even being charged officially. Are we going to charge these people? I don't know. As you can see, there's a mix of people, but you get enough people into this, and I just get the vibe. I'm sorry. Ever since 2020, really the end of COVID, I've seen too much astroturfing. When all of a sudden you all of a sudden see concrete blocks sitting on pallets conveniently right next to the protest site, be skeptical. I'm not saying that that was a plan or anything. I'm just saying be skeptical. We've seen this before. I think USAID defunding has stopped some of this stuff, but I don't know. At the same time, again, it's June 2025, and I got no problem with people out there protesting and stuff. It's your American right to do so. In fact, if you feel that strongly with that, I would consider it a duty to go out there and protest peacefully. Um, Go ahead and burn an American flag. Makes me sick, but it's your God given right to go do so. But when I look out in the crowd, and the only American flag I see is laying on the ground being burnt, there's Palestinian flags, most or Hamas flags, Mexican flags, some kind of amalgam of the American Mexican flag. Uh, Again, I still don't understand this connection of things that I happen to find so ironic. I'm sure some of you find it ironic. Um, but anyway, we'll see. It's a shame that, here it is June. How far is stuff going to keep going? Don't know. In the words of Critical Drinker. How's it going? Don't know. But anyway, whatever side of this kind of stuff you fall on, whatever it's worth when you go out there. And trust me, I've actually protested here in Tennessee against the war in Iraq. I stood there in my county seat with a candle and sung a hymn with a bunch of church group people. I'm not exactly the religious type. My idea of protesting is just saying, I don't know. I have a different view of protesting. But again, you do you. But at the same time, if you get out there and you start chucking rocks and burning down shit, you should expect rubber bullets at the least. And to the credit of Trump this time, uh, he's got nothing to lose, people. You got a bunch of gung ho diehard kind of Trump loyalist around him in places like the military and district, or the U.S. Attorney's Office. I mean, there's just generally a bunch of people uh, in the law enforcement side of our society that are grateful for this guy. There's at least 50-60% of the people in this country voted specifically for taking care of this type of thing going on. So if you want to go out there and engage, you knock yourself out. You do you. But just be aware that some of the consequences, and I hope it doesn't get ugly. We don't need to see people in hospitals. Uh, in my youth, there was a thing that took place at Kent State during peaceful protests where the National Guard got a little out of hand and killed people, students. When I'm watching here, this shit can get out of hand like that. And it goes from tear gas and pepper balls to bean bags, rubber bullets. And these are the kind of things that put out people's eyes, can kill, although they're not designed to, they can kill. And then worse yet, it depends on how bad things really truly break down. I don't know. I wouldn't push your luck. But anyway, I have to sign off. I hope everybody has a better week. Come on, Monday. Let's hope Monday we just chill. I don't know. I would give anything for a really boring ass week to be able to go out here and do a podcast on just how awesome Tennessee is. And Lord knows we don't put up with this bullshit. But anyway, hey, I thank you guys for being here. Stop you for stopping by on this real quick kind of emergency podcast. But anyway, peace, love, chicken grease, and thanks for tuning in again. Be sure to buy a coffee, like, subscribe, helps the algorithm. Look, we're new. We're getting started out. I'm learning the ropes as I go. Help a Gen Xer out. I'll help you out. I'll make you that promise. But anyway, take care, folks. Have a great week. Right on.